What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're back on the 2004 F150. We're doing front brakes on this, and these brakes are a little different than what you may think for a 2004. These still have the wheel bearings inside of the rotors, and they are pressed in. They got snap ring and stuff. You don't have to replace them if you are doing entire rotors, because it does come with the wheel bearings on the new rotors. But I already have the driver's side done, just so I know what torque specs are and all that for y'all. And see, nice new. I do have to clean it off. I'll do all that before I put the wheels back on and all that other stuff. And you can see how bad these are. I mean, you can hear that. Brake pads are about shot to, but they are pretty rusted. I don't know why it's a Southern truck. Lived this whole life in my area. It's weird. But well, we're going to do this and disconnect this. If I can get it out one-handed, the other side come out a lot easier. It's just your wheel speed sensor wire. I just like to do that because we're going to hang the caliper up right here. This is passenger side, by the way. You have 13s right there and there. I think it's 18s on the bracket, and we'll be cleaning those up and all that good stuff, and we'll put new grease on the spindle. But let me set y'all up so y'all can watch this. We'll start off by taking the caliper off. Make sure I'm turning it the right way. 13s on those, and then we're going to hang it up from the upper control arm after we get this off. But I'm just going to loosen them first, and then I'm going to get a screwdriver. Flathead, stick it in here. Okay. And we're going to pry. And pry. Let's see if we can get it to push that piston in some, because it's got these little ridges on the brake pads, and it's going to hang up on those. Yeah, I'm going to get a little bit more out of it if I can get in between here. Where's my big screwdriver? Had it. Get my big screwdriver in here. Okay, that may be enough. Come on. Just enough to get it out. Goes. I think that should be about it. Ford tends to do that a lot. I was saying Ford tends to do that a lot. I forgot my hanging bracket caliper holder. But yeah, Ford likes to do that a good bit with these grooves. I'm typically a fan of it. Just take off these little springs. Oh boy, these are on here. There it goes. Other side wasn't as bad. Always the worst side that I show y'all. Don't know why that is. There's your pads. Pretty grooved up. Check the sliders. They don't feel too bad. But now we'll get the 18 millimeters off. Thought I had all the tools over here with me, but I didn't. Alright, use a 1/2 inch to bust these loose. If you got one, a longer one, preferably even a breaker bar if you can, because they torque to 147 foot-pounds. And that ain't even the shocking part of this job. But these torque to 147. The nut on the front that holds the rotor on to the spindle, that torques to 296 foot-pounds. And I don't have a torque wrench that goes that high. My torque wrench only goes to 250. And what we're going to do, and how I did the other side, was I just went to, get that up out of the way. I just went to 250 and then I went an additional 1/4 of a turn. Now, it is pretty scary to go to that torque on the lift, because it can move and stuff, but if you're on the ground, just make sure you got a good jack and a jack stand to hold the car while you're torquing this down. Or, I don't like saying this that much, but if you got an impact gun, just hammer down on that thing and let it go. Because I know that's probably what a lot of people are going to do. I do not condone that, but that is a lot of people's options. Believe me, when I was younger, I didn't have all the tools and stuff that I have now. I mean, I was a teenager, I couldn't afford all these tools. And I grew up pretty poor. To be honest, kind of why I got into mechanics, because I had to repair my own cars. My grandfather got me into it. My grandfather was a big influence on me. Come on, get out of here. Maybe we'll wheel y'all around and show you what I'm doing, instead of talking about my life and memories and all that junk. Pulling this cotter pin out. It's coming now. There we go. See, I just had to be there to help me. And it's like silicone on the back of this. I don't know how well you can see that. Just stuck up on there. Now comes the fun part. It's 36 millimeter. 300 foot-pounds. That's why I'm using electric impact. My Milwaukee died, or the battery died. I got to get me a new one anyway. So, watch your ears. That's your nut. Also, recommends replacing this every time you do this job. And that's what we did. That's both of them. Now we're going to take a mallet and just round it and hit it a few times. Just kind of break it up, and then get on the opposite side of y'all where the caliper was. Alright, she's coming now. There we go. I'll show you this rotor in just a second. Hammer fail. I was wondering what failed. That is your spindle. We're going to clean that off. I was going to put a little bit of brake grease around there. I'm going to clean up this end a little bit too. Make sure the threads look good. We don't want to mess up those. But that's pretty much, we're going to clean all that off. Spray spray down some brake cleaner, get all the old grease if there is any, and then I'm going to put a little bit of grease on around it, just to make sure that the bearing kind of goes on smooth. Let me show you the rotor. Here's the rotor. Got your tone ring right there. That right there is for your wheel speed sensor. There's a snap ring right here. I don't know how well y'all can see that. Right there, there's the holes. And here's your bearing inside. Which bearing don't feel too bad. But I think they were pressed in on this. I mean, you can see how bad the bruise on that, and it's pretty rusty. There's your outer bearing. You can see we got your studs on there. So we're replacing all that. These rotors are expensive. Like if you do not have a commercial account or know anybody who does, or you can get a discount on brake kits. I think these rotors are like $180 a piece. So be mindful of that. We get them as a kit, so we get them a little bit cheaper, just so y'all know. I know I'm giving away mechanic secrets, and probably mechanics are gonna be like, "Why are you telling people that?" Yada yada yada. I just think public should know everything that they can. We're gonna put that bracket. And screwdriver. Pop, 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 and pop. That's your hardware. We're going to take this over to the bench grinder with a wire wheel. We're going to clean out those grooves as much as I can get in there. I try to get on the tops as well. And like I said, these feel rather smooth. So I'm not going to pop those out, and they feel pretty lube and they turn real easy. So we should be good on that. Let me clean this off. I'll be right back. Alright, here we are. We got them cleaned up a lot better than they were. And put a little bit of brake grease. This is the brake grease I use. I like that. It works pretty good. CRC is brake caliper grease, synthetic. There's a little brush on here, and don't put a lot on there. You don't have to like slather it on. Just enough to coat it, just to prevent any kind of major rust and squeaks and grinds and all that. Because your hardware can move. It ain't supposed to, but I mean, anything can happen. And if it's moving, it can make noise. So here they are. These are the Brake Best Select Pros. Got it from O'Reilly's, not a sponsor, but that's just, they're right next door to us. So we get a lot of stuff from O'Reilly's just because they are literally next door. And these are decent pads. You can see it's got the braking compound on there. Here's the hardware. Actual packaging. Where is the part number on this? Right there. SPM 1011. Very hard pads. They are some pretty thick little pads. Look at that. I mean, they're as thick as my thumb. Rotors right here. I think that's the part number. Let me just be sure before I tell you wrong. Yep, that's it. So 680178 RGS, and I'll show you that in just a second. Let me put y'all where y'all can kind of watch something. Putting hardware on. And just snaps in. Make sure that centerpiece gets snapped in pretty good. And pads. What I'm going to do is I'm only going to put a little bit of grease on the tabs on the end, because we're going to put the rest of the grease on the caliper itself, so it's only making contact where the caliper makes contact. This one didn't come with pins, and from other videos I saw, a lot of people didn't put the pins in there. So we're going to leave the pins out. And they got little tabs. I don't know how well y'all can see. They got little tabs right there. That keeps the... Y'all are falling. Don't fall on me. So that keeps the pads from coming out the ends. So you don't have to worry about them sliding out. That's good. And so I'm just putting a little bit on the ends of it. And we'll trick, go to the inside. Don't try to do it from the outside. Try to do it on the outside. What will happen will, you're going to mess up those little tabs that hold the brake pad in, and then you won't be able to hold your caliper, your brake pads in the caliper itself while you put it up there. Now, I'm going to set this to the side. Okay, I got to clean off the spindle, and then I got to show y'all the rotor. Let me grab something with. Keep dropping stuff. Got too much stuff on that little table of mine. Oh, this does come with a piece of wood to protect the studs. That is nice. I'm glad that they started doing that. But this is the rotor. There's your bearing inside, and the other one's on the back. We're going to clean that off with some brake cleaner, just because they do put shipping grease and packing grease or whatever on it to keep it from rusting. And then we're going to clean up that a little bit, put a little bit of grease on there, and then I'll come back and show me putting the rotor on. We're still waiting on the nut because I only had one in stock, and it should be here anytime. They ordered it yesterday, but it was coming from a little bit further away, so we're waiting on that. And I don't have the part number with me yet. They only had one. But we'll go ahead and clean this, put the rotor on, and then I'll show you how we do everything else. Got some grease on there, as you can see. Now, put my rotor on here. Oops, got my glove. Alright. Just spray down my hands now. There we go. Now I'm just waiting on the nut to go on here, because you're supposed to have it coming. While we're doing that, I'm going to use a pad, and like an old pad, put it in here with a C-clamp, and we're going to compress this in. You can use a brake caliper compressor, you can use a C-clamp, whatever your heart desires. I know some people are going to be like, oh, you don't even need to use brake caliper compressor, or some people, well, you can use C-clamp. You know what? Do whatever you're comfortable with. There's a million different ways to do every single task, so do you. But I'm going to do that. I like using a C-clamp. Gives me a little bit more like force and a little bit more comfortability for me. So let me do that, and then as soon as I get this nut back in, we'll put this rotor on, torque it down, and show you how I do it. So we got our spindle nut in. It says do not reuse on it, and brake test. Part number I think is 6354. And then here's the other one. It says HN1. So how I do this is I got my, can turn it on actually, and then I gotta set this up to, I'm gonna go to 250 because this is as high as mine will go. Alright, we got it set on 250, and we're just gonna tighten. Now this is a nylon lock nut. I think that's why I want you to replace it every time, because the nylon wears out on it. Ugh. Arm's gonna get a workout today, but I'm gonna go to 250. Then after I do that, I'm just gonna go another quarter turn. Slid it up on there and make sure it was pretty seated on the back. Alright, we should be good to go. And alright, I actually went over and when it finished it said 302. Now it will read higher than 250, but it'll only go to 250, and it said over torque, so you have to turn it off, turn it back on when you over torque it. It's not good to do that to these, but I wanted to get it to where it was. But on the other side I just used just a manual one like this, went to 250, and then I went an additional quarter of turn. You can do that too if you would like to, but I know a lot of people are not going to have a torque wrench that goes up to 300. Now, I have my C-clamp on here holding it for me, and I just didn't want the piston to come back out. Move it out of the way. Where are my bolts? We cleaned off the other bolts right here and put a little bit of blue Loctite on them. You don't have to go crazy with the Loctite. Just a little bit will do. Put our assembly on here. I'll put one on here first. I'll go for the bottom one. It's easier for me to feel. This hand threaded in for right now. I'll probably roll back on me a little bit. And we got the top one going in now. Like I said before, these are 147 foot-pounds. I'm just going to use my digital one again. Got it set to 147. $148.5. And getting there. 147.3. I'm just going to double check them. Yep. Here we go. I'm going to take my C-clamp off. Got a little piece of sandpaper. I'm just going to go over, kind of scuff those up, get any of the grease and stuff off. Any rust. I'm going to go over faces of the pistons. Now just be careful, these are composite pistons, so don't crank down on your tool, whatever you use to compress it in. Lift this up off of here if I don't drop it first. I don't know how well y'all can see in there. I put a little bit of the brake grease inside of there. Now getting these back on can be a little bit of a pain because of the notches on here, but let's see what we can do. This one slid on a lot easier than the driver's side. Okay, I'm going to start my bolts. That one started. Just thread in as much as I can with my hand. Ugh. Same thing with the bottom. Torque spec on these is 47. Here. One, two, check, double check. There we go, 47, 47. Don't forget to put your ABS wire back in the little holders. And Viola, she is done. Much better than what come off of there. I'm going to spray this off one more time, the rotor with brake cleaner, just to make sure there's nothing on there. But for the most part, this is how you do these brakes. It's a little bit different and a lot of torque, but that's just how it goes sometimes. It's Fords were like this until 2008. I think it should be 04 to 08 on these brakes right here. But like always, y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to fix it or answer your questions as soon as I see them. And then if y'all have any questions about anything on this truck, any other car, whatever, ask me. I'll get to them as soon as possible. Hit me up on Instagram if you do. I've been trying to post up on there more as well. Like I said in the last couple videos, new shirt design is going to be coming out soon. I'll show y'all as soon as I get it made, but I do have it up on my community tab. Go check it out. Let me know what y'all think. But if y'all need anything, feel free to hit me up. I'll try to answer it as soon as I can and as honestly as I can. But thank you for all my members, subscribers, Patreons, all that stuff. It does help out the channel, and I am growing. I'm over 4,200 now. Once we hit that 5,000 mark, we will be doing that giveaway. Don't forget about that. And if you like the video, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. And if not, check out some other stuff I have. I have close to 300 videos, I believe, right now. Might find something that you do like. But as always, torque this tight, and y'all have a great day. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to mention, don't forget to put on your cap nut right here, and then a cotter pin. Like, I didn't think about that until I've already closed out the video, but just a little extra on here. So if you stayed to the end, make sure, and I'll even put it up in the description or in the wording on that before y'all close out the video.